Grace, it's very nice to see you again. 4 years later, you're still the only person that I've spoken to twice in 1 week for two different projects for two different outlets. So great to still see you
That's
doing lots of work.
amazing. Yeah, so great to see you. I'm excited to talk to you.
Did you have any apprehension about taking on this role when the project first was made available to you?
No, I didn't. This is a crazy full circle moment for me because when I watched the Netflix documentary in 2015 or 16, I called my agents at the time and I asked if there was anything being made about Amanda Knox because it would be a dream to play her. So when this came around 10 years later, it felt very right to me.
What did you learn over the course of playing the role that you just didn't know beforehand about her?
Oh my gosh, so much. Beyond just the facts of the case that were very swept under the rug. I really learned who she was as a human being, and I would say that surprised me the most. Especially with somebody who's been so scrutinized and has had no control over what people say about her. I was so in awe that she was willing to trust me to help tell her story. It was very inspiring to me.
Do you think people can still walk away from the show not being sure of what happened, or it's supposed to offer some sort of definitive picture of at least events, if not necessarily motivations?
I think people are going to walk away believing whatever they want to believe. Unfortunately, we can't force force anyone to think anything, but I do hope that this show lays out the facts in a way that's truthful, that gives people an opportunity to form an opinion based on facts and not the bias and the headlines and the shock value phrases that were being fed to them at the time.
One of the things that surprised me most about the show was how much of it is in Italian. And I studied abroad in Florence and took intensive intermediate Italian while I was there. But
Wow.
I'm particularly impressed by, I think the way that you have to be able to speak Italian is especially challenging because you need to know more than you're sort of, portraying because you have to get it slightly wrong as an American, etc. What was your Italian knowledge before the show, and what was the process of learning it like for you?
My Italian knowledge was negative. I mean, no, that's not true. My family and I go to Italy a lot for vacation, so I know please and thank you and how are you and nice to meet you. So it was very little. But I had 2 months to learn as much as I could, and and then 6 months of shooting, which thankfully we were able to, at least for the Italian parts, shoot kind of in order. So while I was learning, I was able to do those scenes where I didn't know the language and there was less pressure to pronounce things correctly and understand things. And then by the end of the shoot, we were doing the fluent parts. So my knowledge, I had a better understanding, thankfully. But it was still very daunting and I'm really trying to keep up the language. I told myself I would. So I promised myself I would.
You find that it changes your approach as an actress, having to speak in a different language and just sort of, especially when you're surrounded by so many people who are speaking that language.
Absolutely. I mean, it was so important for me to not only learn the words, but really learn and understand what I was saying so that I can approach it with emotion and so that even for the Americans and English speaking people that are watching the show can still feel the emotion behind the foreign language and vice versa.
Did it feel like this was an American production, or did it feel like you were sort of just a visiting American, like
It
Amanda, in this entirely Italian
right.
world?
I mean, in some ways, both. We shot all in Europe, so in a lot of ways, it did feel like a European production, and I was away from home, and I was isolated. Um, so yeah, in that way, it totally did.
You also have a very interesting family dynamic with John Hogenacker and Sharon Horgan and other people. What was it like filming those scenes, which I assume were in some ways more intimate, but also more difficult because that's a very painful time for Amanda.
Yeah, I mean, they're all so incredible. They're beautiful people and beautiful actors. So it was very easy to connect with them. Um, I look up to all of them so much. And my sister got to play my real sister. So that was magical. And it's so great. Like when you have to have these emotional, intense scenes with people, it's so great to be comfortable with them. And that's exactly what it was. We all felt really comfortable with each other.
If people haven't seen this show yet and for some reason have gotten this far into this interview, would you recommend that they watch it all at once now that it's all out, or is it something that's still better to break up a little bit?
Oh, that's an intense 8 hour watch. I would say break it up and digest. I think it's really good to like take some time after each episode and think about what you just watched. I think it poses a lot of interesting questions and interesting conversations. So I think it would be doing it a disservice to kind of binge it and I mean to your emotional health as well as to what you're taking in. So I would say spread it out.
We've talked about other projects in the past, some like Nine Perfect Strangers, which while it's coming back, it's your part was a limited part, and Tell Me Lies, which did, return. Do you find you approach things differently when you know that there's an end in sight, or you like the idea
Mm.
that there could be more to the story?
Yeah, it's always different. I mean, Nine Perfect Strangers, I knew was going to be a mini series. Tell Me Lies is really the only ongoing thing I've been a part of, and it has been such a unique experience. Um, and each season, I get more and more comfortable going back to because it feels like it's in my body, and I can just ignite it as opposed to trying to discover things. But then naturally you discover new things each season. So it's been really fun to experience an ongoing show like that.
Are there other stories like Amanda's that are out there that you're just itching to play and to get to tell?
At the moment, at the moment, I can't think of any, but if I do, hopefully the same thing happens and in 10 years I'll be playing them.
Well, I always, whenever I think of you, I always think of Mayday, and I'm curious, is that something that ever comes up? Does anyone else ever bring that up when they talk, or is that just like a forgotten gem from the past?
I think it is like a strange, like if you know, you know. I mean, everyone in that movie was so good and everyone is Mia and Havana are just doing so great and I love them so much. And I love to see people that I worked with just kind of go on their own path and like cheer them on the sidelines. It's really, really fun for me.
Well, before I let you go, what are you watching right now? What have you seen recently that's really sticking with you?
I'm watching Task right now on HBO. I'm having a lot of fun with that. And I'm like I love when I can't predict anything. And I feel like I haven't watched this Sunday's episode, but I really like when I don't know where it's going. I feel like it's very rare. So I'm into that right now for sure. And I just love Mark Ruffalo so much.
Wonderful. Well, it's nice to see you again. I look forward to talking about many other things in the future and wish
Yes.
everybody a good decompression from this show after watching.
Yes, yes, me too. So nice seeing you again.